Hey folks, good morning. It's Ed the Impala Guy. Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be the final video on the Silver LT Impala that we did the front end work on in the paint. Hopefully it's going to be the last video because we're taking it today to have someone look at it and they're pretty serious about buying it. So I kind of wanted to do a wrap-up video. Not a lot has been going on with the car since the last video, other than we've been driving it. I always like to drive them for a week or so, put some miles on them, and see if anything shakes out that needs to be replaced. And it turns out that we did. First of all, let's take a look at the car, and pardon the dirt. That's one of the things I'm going to try and tackle this morning. It's 20 degrees out, so I can't really wash it outside. I don't really want to take it through a car wash, so I think I'm going to just give her a sponge bath right here in the garage. The inside is all clean and pretty, and I've got the paperwork in there ready to go. But the thing that we had to work on was a little bit of rear suspension work. When I crawled up under there, I noticed the rear lower control arms were bent to shit. So I ordered a set for each side, lower control arms, both the front and the rear, and the sway bar link. I also ordered a new pair of front sway bar links while I was at it, since they're so cheap. And I spent an entire evening on my back under the car replacing both of those. Now this car is very strange. It had almost no rust up front, but the rear end was like really rusty. The cradle, the rear cradle that holds the suspension on this, I had to drop the whole thing down and to get the bolts loose, because the bolts were pretty rusty and crusty. So I did that, and we got it replaced, and we got it lined up, and everything's good to go. She drives straight, she drives smooth. I don't have that creaking in the back anymore, and we're good to go. So other than that, this is a nice little car. It drives really well. For the last couple days, my wife has been driving it. She hit a deer in her Impala, Iris. She hit a deer last Sunday and did a lot of damage, so we've been running around getting estimates and dealing with the insurance on that. And there will be a video coming up on that soon that is probably going to be our next project. So sit tight for that one. But as you can see, the interior is clean. It smells good. I do see something there in the door that I got to clean up. But like I said, this person had contacted me about the car. She's a previous Impala owner, and her car got totaled last Sunday as well. So it's really kind of ironic. So she shot me a cash offer. She says she's really serious. We're going to meet her in a couple hours, and the car will probably be gone, and we can move on to the next one. So I just want to give you a short update on this, and maybe we'll take you along on the for sale side of it. But anyhow, if not, I'll talk to you in a little bit. Okay, folks, welcome back. It's the very next day, and sure enough, the Silver Impala sold yesterday. Young lady had actually totaled her Impala by hitting a deer the previous Sunday, and she was in the market for another Impala, and so she saw this one, and she kind of fell in love with it online, and her grandfather came and looked at it, and they bought it. And hope she's happy. She loves the Impalas, and it should be a good car for her. She said it was a lot nicer than her previous one. So good luck to her, and the car should serve her well and give her plenty of years of service as long as she takes care of it. So this one, I'm actually going to break down the numbers for you. I know a lot of people always get curious as to how this all works, what the actual numbers are, and I keep track on every car. This one I'm going to actually show you step by step, so you can see, what kind of money can be made, if you can make money, what it really costs. And now keep in mind, this was a simple project. This was basically just a minor front end collision. There wasn't a whole lot of mechanical work involved. We did replace a little bit of the rear suspension, and that was it, and the tires, and then off she went. Most of it was just painting and body work, and and not too much of it at that. So it was really supposed to be a quick flip. It ended up taking me 2 months, but in the middle of that, we had the holidays. We also had my mom with us, and we had to take care of a few things for her, get her all set up. But all in all, it didn't take near as long as a couple of the others, and the car moved actually pretty quick. It was only up on the market for 6 days. So anyhow, we're gonna use the hood of Iris here, and she's in the shop, and we'll talk a little bit about her and give you a sneak peek as to the next project. Anyhow, let's see if we can get a good thing here. The 2008 Silver Impala LT, we nicknamed Moonlight, because, you know, in our house, every car has to have a name. And let's see here. The winning bid from Copart was $1,500. That was my maximum price. I wasn't going any higher than that. I ended up winning it at $1,500, and that's I've been watching what they've been going for. This one was like I said, a simple front end collision, and it had relatively low mileage. If you call 105,000 miles low mileage, in the Impala world, that is actually pretty low mileage. So with the Copart fees, hang on a minute. Okay, the Copart fees, the buyer's fee was $390. The internet bid fee was $79. You get charged this if you use the internet, use their website to bid on a car, versus the only way you don't get charged that is as if you actually go to a location and log in on their kiosk and bid from one of their kiosks. And considering it's probably about $50 in fuel for me to go to the nearest Copart to bid, and I don't really have the time to do that, they get me for another $79. Then we have a gate fee. Everybody pays a gate fee, $59. We had a title transfer fee of $50 and sales tax of $90 for an out-the-door price at Copart of $21.68. That's what I wrote the check for. That's what we paid going out the door. Then to get the car home, where am I? I can't see shit. We had a trailer rental from U-Haul for $56. Parts that we spent on the car, we had $235 in parts. The hood and bumper were from the pick-apart yard, and they were actually on sale. They were like really cheap. Like the bumper was $24 and the hood was $35. I had a hood latch that I had specifically bought for another car that was $18. So I charged it to this car. Then all the new rear suspension parts that I bought from Amazon and the TPMS sensors, all the parts together came out to $235. Now there are a few little like clips and nuts and bolts and stuff that I grabbed off the parts cars here that I did not charge towards the car, since it'd be hard to put a numeric value on that. Paint and supplies, $150, and that was $80 for the color coat. That was probably the most expensive part of that. A quart of the silver paint was $80, and then I charged some for the clear coat and activator and the sealer and activator. So all in all, I figured about $150 worth of paint. New tires were $314 from Discount Tire, for a total expenses of $755. Added to the $21.68 is a total expenditure of $29.23. That's what it cost me to get that car ready to sell. So, what did we sell it for? We sold it for $4,200. That was my bottom line price. I wasn't going to go any lower than that. It's tax season. It hadn't been sold for very long, and the girl offered me $4,200 in cash, and I took it. I could have probably, held out longer for more, but, she's a very serious buyer. She had the cash in hand, and since it met my minimum price, I took it. And still, that left us a profit of $1,277. So, that being said, did we make money on this car? You bet. And would I have liked to flipped that in like a week or two and made that in a week or two, you bet. But as with everything, things get in the way. We did a little bit of learning. Learned a lot about painting panels and clear coating. And some of the mistakes I made, I will not make again. So the next time we do it, it should go a lot smoother, a lot better quality, probably a lot less paint. So live and learn. And that's what we're doing here. We're learning, and I'm taking you kind of along with me. Like I said from the beginning, I'm not a pro at this. I do have some training as an aircraft mechanic. I've done some painting in the past, but those were like with a Binks Model 7 gun, and we were painting with single stage enamel paints like Centauri and Dulux, Imran. So, I mean, that's like ancient stuff, man. And you start telling people in the business that's the last time you painted, and they chuckle. Because that was a really long time ago. The HVLP guns and the 2- and 3-stage paint jobs, you know, that's kind of a newer thing. I mean, it's been around a while, but it has really become commonplace in the last, 10, 15, 20 years. So, anyhow, we learned a lot. So the next project we have will probably go quicker. And I guarantee it's going to go quicker because it has to go quicker. And therefore, introducing the next project. This is Iris. And if you followed the channel for very long, you know that Iris is my wife's car. And last Sunday, the same day that my previous car buyer, this last car buyer, hit a deer and totaled her Impala, my wife hit a deer and did $3,867 damage to this car. So now you say, well, Ed, it doesn't look like that. It just looks like it's a different color fender. Well, even though we had the spare car to drive, I didn't want to run up a whole lot of miles on that silver car. So it was a kind of imperative that I get this car back in working order. So what we did, as you can see, I zip tied the bumper together, doing a little stitching there. I had I had a new headlight. I had the fender. I tore out the wheel liners. It broke the front wheel liner completely off the car. There was just a little piece hanging like right here. It dented, I don't know if you can see this, it dented the A-pillar pretty good. We'll be able to pull this out. I'm going to try a paintless dent removal system on this first. I kind of doubt it will work, but hey, you know what? I'm going to try it, and if it works, hey, great. The other thing, we shattered the windshield right here. I'm going to pause for a couple seconds at the end of explaining all this, and I will put the pictures in this video to show you what the damage was. Kind of hit the door right here. You can see the door is in just a little bit. We're going to pull that out. Again, PDR, we'll get it out as best we can. I'm going to end up having to blend onto the door anyhow, but I want to avoid having to blend onto both doors. Here's a problem that was actually occurring before the deer hit, was this molding is peeling off. So it's catching on the door here. It's just the way the door was adjusted. Like I said, this was the pre-accident, so we're going to get that straightened out. And then back here, you can still see there's deer hair still in here. And she cracked the bumper back here. We will replace, or I'm sorry, not replace it, we will repair that. And we replaced the fender liner because it broke the fender liner as well. And also you notice you got the mirror. So we're going to order a new mirror. This one is not heated. This car has heated rear view mirrors, so we're going to get an actual heated one. And we'll have to paint that. We're going to have to paint a mirror either way. So, and then of course, we'll have a new front bumper. The plastics behind it are in good shape. Anyhow, that's going to be the next project. It's going to be a really quick one. I'm going to hope to get it done all in one weekend. The one thing I will do before the parts get here is I'll pull the back bumper off and I'll do the structural repair on that with our easy sand filler and a little bit of reinforcement and a little bit of body putty on the outside. Smooth, feathered out, we'll prime it, And then when we paint it, we'll blend onto the rest of the bumper, and then we'll clear coat the whole rear bumper. The front bumper is going to be painted from scratch. That's the plan, Stan. Thanks for stopping in. I'll film that whole procedure here on Iris, and we'll get it up on the YouTube for you. And then after that, we're at the very moment we're looking for our next project car, like the actual project car that we're gonna flip. There's a couple routes that I'm thinking of going versus Copart collision cars. There's always the Facebook Marketplace. You can find them with blown transmissions that people are getting rid of really cheap. There was an Equinox that has a blown transmission. Somebody wanted like $600 for, and if the rest of the car is in good shape and it's still available, we may go take a look at that. See if we can talk them down a little bit, and we might do an Equinox. I don't know, just something. But whatever it is, by the end of it, it will be looking good and driving well, because that's how we do it here. The girl's grandfather was very impressed at the way the work was done and how well the car rode. I'm glad I replaced the rear suspension components, because it really made a world of difference. And that really shows when people test drive it. It rides smooth, it drives smooth, the car handles well. Car runs well. Just even stuff like changing the oil. He said, man, this oil is like brand new. I said, well, yeah, it is, because we changed the oil. We changed transmission fluid. You got to take care of the little stuff, and people appreciate that, and they know that you did a good job, and they'll, get good use out of the car. So anyhow, thanks for stopping by. Go ahead and click that subscribe button down there. We're up to 180-something subscribers. Long way to go to 1,000, but we'll get there, and when we do, we'll do the tool giveaway. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell while you're at it. That way you'll get notified of any content. Go down there and leave a comment, good or bad. Leave a like, dislike. Let me know what you want to see, what you don't want to see, what you liked, what you didn't like. And I appreciate you tuning into the channel, and we'll see you very soon.